Welcome to Cinema Bites, your go-to for movie recaps in a flash. Big twists, epic moments, all in just minutes. Our movie today takes place in John and Karen's apartment. At the beginning, we see Karen responding coldly to her husband when he asks her about the groceries. This question alone makes her upset, and she leaves the kitchen to avoid John. Later, while John is watching TV, Karen sits at the edge of the couch. They notice the TV warning people to listen carefully and stay away from social media because false information is spreading about a virus that has spread in the country. John, upon hearing the news, suspects it's a pharmaceutical company trying to profit from the situation. However, Karen seems worried about something else and tries to tell John but hesitates and doesn't speak. The day ends. The next morning we find them in the same state and Karen can't stand seeing her husband. When John goes to the bathroom, he stands still, confused, as he hears the sound of a plane crashing into the building above. Then, there's a loud noise, chaos ensues, and ambulances arrive. When Karen tries to talk to him again this time, she tells him she wants a divorce. At that moment, outside, John is terrified to see a plane crash into the building directly across from them. People are filming what's happening, and as he looks around, he sees people acting insanely, behaving very strangely. Some people seem to have turned into zombies. John rushes back home and tells Karen what's happening outside, but she doesn't believe him. Soon, the TV confirms the situation, and they discover that a virus is spreading, turning people into zombies. The infected roam the streets, attacking and eating others. The TV advises them to ration their food and water. When they check their supplies, John is shocked to find they have very little food. Karen comes up with an idea and tells John to go around the apartments and take food and water from the neighbors. Luckily, John returns safely with a plastic bag full of food. This motivates Karen, and she decides to go around the apartments herself. When John sees what she brought back, he starts piecing things together and realizes Karen plans to leave him. When he confronts her, she admits the truth. However, amidst all this, they don't have the time to focus on their marital problems. They continue going around the apartments, gathering food, and preparing for survival. Karen tells John to bring the neighbor's TV because it's bigger than theirs. The two stay indoors, following emergency instructions. They tape an X on the window for the rescue team to spot them. John isn't enthusiastic about these measures, but Karen enjoys it, especially when she goes around the apartments alone, taking things she doesn't even need, like a pink dress she liked at the neighbors. Now they have food, tools, and clothes, but danger still surrounds them. John warns Karen that the zombies might try to break in, but Karen casually says they'll defend themselves. They use the tools they have and train in self-defense. They hear on the radio that the government is doing everything it can, but people must stay home and keep themselves occupied. John and Karen follow the advice, trying to distract themselves. While playing, Karen says their lives are ruined, talking about their problems. John tries to calm her down but fails. Karen breaks down and starts drinking to forget the pain. But the truth is, her pain isn't because of the zombies or being trapped at home. It's because their relationship has been broken for a year, and their marriage has failed. From their conversation, we learn their daughter died, which is why they can't stand living with each other. Karen continues drinking and crying over their lost daughter. Later, they change the subject, and Karen starts thinking about their end amidst the chaos outside. But John stays strong, encouraging his wife, saying they'll overcome this ordeal and train to survive. They begin exercising and preparing for what's to come. After some time, they encounter a zombie in the building hallway and both are terrified. To calm his nerves, John tries to light a cigarette but gets frustrated when he finds they're out. Karen reveals she's hidden cigarettes and drugs in the kitchen, including some she stole from her workplace. She starts using drugs and encourages John to join her, but the story doesn't end there. Karen also brings a weapon, which John accidentally uses, waking Karen and angering her. During breakfast, John tells her they need to prepare more. They set traps outside the apartment, make Molotov cocktails, and hide them under the counter in case they need to defend themselves. They continue training, now full of energy from the drugs. Unexpectedly, the neighbors knock on their door. The Anderson family appears to be fine but wants to hide in their apartment. They notice the broken glass traps John and Karen set and realize someone is inside. When the Andersons enter, they ask for food. After eating, Karen wants them to leave because they don't have extra food to share. She confronts them, saying they must go. The Andersons agree but ask for some time to rest first. At first, everything seems fine, but Karen and Emily don't get along at all. Karen and John devise a plan to get Emily and her husband to leave. However, Emily figures out their plan and tells her husband she won't leave. The next morning, tension fills the air. During breakfast, Karen confronts them, saying they should help around the house as they promised when they arrived. Karen tells them to clean and fold their clothes. Emily realizes things might escalate to the point where they'll have to fight over the apartment. But Leo, her husband, doesn't see it that way, as it's not his home. He's grateful they're even allowed to stay. However, his wife changes his mind, feeling embarrassed after cleaning the house. While Karen and John watch movies, Emily and Leo come up with a plan to attack John and Karen while they sleep and kick them out. When they enter the living room, they find them asleep and decide to take advantage of the situation. As they talk, Karen overhears them saying they need to do this now, and when she understands what's happening, you decide to act and tell them that you're going to bake cookies. You take your husband to the kitchen and tell him they need to act. You start making the cookies, and while the Anderson family hesitates, they can't refuse the food you made for them, even though it contains drugs. Unfortunately, Karen puts all her drug stash in the cookies, and soon after, Emily and Leo start acting strangely and go into shock. John and Karen are also shocked, thinking they might have killed them. As they stand watching them, they hear a noise coming from the room. When John goes to check, he finds Leo standing, but it turns out he was actually injured. When Karen sees this, she doesn't think twice and shoots him with a gun, then kills Emily after she also regains consciousness. This terrifies them completely, and they start questioning if they too might have been infected. They then dispose of the Anderson family's bodies. The next morning, Karen decides they should live their lives for whatever time they have left since they don't know how much time that is. She gives John some drugs, and they reconcile. They sit together smoking, and at that moment, they open up to each other. Karen tells him that if they survive all this, she wants to adopt a child. John tells her he loves her very much and assures her they'll overcome all this madness and fix their relationship. They decide to start fresh, and John suggests a romantic date in the living room. They spend a pleasant time at home, lighting candles. John talks about himself, how lost he felt after loving Karen, and how fate brought them challenges. He reflects on life, the lessons he's learned, and admits his mistakes, like how he withdrew from the love of his life and hid behind his work as a teacher. After all this, he tells he wants to hold on to giving each other a second chance. After saying everything, they return to their room, but before they sleep, they hear a knock on the door. When Karen asks who it is, she finds out it's the rescue team. She gets excited and rushes to open the door, despite John telling her to stop. Unfortunately, they find a gang at the door, intending to rob them. As soon as Karen opens the door, she gets hit and falls to the ground. After the gang restrains John and Karen, they search for tools but find nothing, so they decide to take Karen with them. Two of them tie up John and lock him in another room, while the third takes Karen. However, as soon as he turns around, Karen grabs a knife and kills him. When the others return to the noise, John follows them with a gun and kills them. Then we see John and Karen disposing of the bodies outside their house for the second time. The situation becomes very grim, but suddenly, they hear helicopters from the rescue team outside. The team instructs the residents to stand by their windows and not go outside. John and Karen shout for help, but no one hears them. They try to go down the corridor, hoping to reach the helicopters, but find it filled with zombies. At this point, their food supplies are running low, and they pray they don't die. John tries to calm Karen down, telling her the rescue team will surely return the next day, and they'll figure something out then. After a few hours, the sun rises, and John prepares all the weapons to fight the zombies outside and leave the building. They get ready, and as they stand at the door, they confess their deep love for each other. They step out to face their fate. As soon as they leave, we hear gunfire, screams, and struggles. After a few hours, they return running, realizing they can't make it through the corridor. At that moment, Karen tells John that while they were outside, a zombie bit her leg. John is shocked, but refuses to give up. He decides not to let a silly virus take his beloved away. He starts considering various possibilities, convincing himself that she won't turn unless she dies, like the Anderson family. He also hopes a pharmaceutical company might come up with a cure in exchange for money. Karen calms down after hearing all this, and they try to stay composed. The next day, the situation changes drastically. Karen wakes up from a nightmare feeling extremely strange and incredibly hungry, wanting to eat everything but unable to explain what she feels. To confirm if she's really turning, John puts blood in a cup and asks her to drink it to see if she likes it. Unfortunately, she does, and Karen feels somewhat satiated after drinking it. John then decides to keep giving her his blood until help arrives, refusing to give up. Karen tells him they'll wait to see if someone comes to save them. The day ends, and at night, John talks to her, feeling like he's losing her. He tells her she might be pregnant, and this way, they could have their daughter back. After a while, Karen takes a shower. To keep his wife satisfied, John brings her another cup, as it's the only thing he can offer her now. Later, they light candles and sleep. The next morning, John wakes up to find a note in the bathroom. Karen wrote that she loves him very much and admits he managed to make her fall in love with him again. She tells him she will never forget these memories, but that the virus has now taken over her. She asks him to end her suffering. When he enters the other room, he finds his wife has turned into a zombie and restrained herself before fully transforming to avoid hurting him. John knows what he must do and prepares to carry out their agreement. But suddenly the door opens, and the rescue team enters. They search the room and find John and Karen are neither fully dead nor alive but have turned into zombies, bound together and waiting for a miracle or someone to end their suffering. Unfortunately, there is no cure. The rescue team kills all the infected. And that's where today's movie ends. Stay tuned for new videos and summaries.